I chose to do my saturation project with Google Sheets and Google Doc, so I did it digitally. And here's a tutorial on how I did it. At any point, of course, you can just pause to read. I won't read everything to you. I used these RGB colors, or RYB colors, I guess. And my final product for each of the colors looked something like this. So that was just my styling for the shading, tinting, toning, complementary, diluting, and tone match. So here's another one, etc. for the 12. I started with a Google Sheets. I made a saturation template. It might look daunting, like, oh my God, I have to type all those in, but no, you don't have to type all those in. I'll show you how I typed some of the things in and used formulas. And then I just copied and pasted. So this is my template. And then I made a tab for each of the colors, the 12 colors I needed. So for example, red, orange, I copied over the template. And the only thing now, once the template is done, the only thing I had to do manually was put in the actual color value. And everything else was populated. The one thing is that these colors that show up on the bottom, I didn't figure out a way, I don't know if there's a way to actually color them. So after it shows up, you have to copy that value. You have to go to the fill the cell and go to custom, and you just copy and paste it here with the OK, and then the color shows up. So that was nice. Another thing to say at this point, some of this is extra stuff I didn't eventually need. This is just verbiage for me to know what I was doing from my memory. I made a grayscale. I'll talk a little bit about how doing that. But there's also, you can do a Google search. There's also formulas to find what's the grayscale match. So I have a formula for that. So we're going to talk through each of these things. I have a tutorial sheets. So I copied over the template. I got rid of some of the stuff you don't need that you can just do for yourself. Everything in yellow is the only stuff that I typed in, the formulas I used. So I had one for saturating with black, saturating with white, saturating with gray, saturating with the complementary color, my grayscale match, and then finding the transparency. You can pause to read these steps that I took. This is the disclaimer on why I chose to do this. These are the formulas. I think those are the only formulas I used. Yeah, and an explanation. You can pause to read that if you need. And in case you're interested, here is a hexadecimal brief tutorial. Of course, you can get stuff later. So, going over to the template, I'm going to do Control tilde, and that shows all the formulas. So basically the rest of the video or tutorial, I want to show you the formulas I use. So then you could use them for yourself if you choose to do it this way. Again, in the end, this is what you manually have to type in for your colors. Okay, so let's say I want to change black. Yeah, so let me click on here so I can scan through. So you can pause whatever you need to do. Again, you type in physically the yellow cells, and then you just drag and paste. I'll show you how you can do that, or you can do a Google search on that for the rest of them. So there's 100 to, there's 30. Again, you can pause to capture these. There's the 40. Down to 10, and then down to 0. So it's the same format for all of them. For the white, again, I'm just doing percentages, so you can sort of get the idea of it. Again, only the yellow ones that I'm typing in. Oops. There's the 40. You can get the hang of it. So I'm just taking a percentage of each, either the pure color or what I'm saturating with. Here's the formulas for the gray. Here's the formulas for the complementary color chosen by RGB hexadecimal stuff. And finally, the transparency. The hexadecimals are, there's 6 values, 2 for the red, 2 for the green, 2 for the blue, RGB, RBG, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. Yeah, one of those. Ruth Bader, so RGB. And then you have 2 extra colors for the transparency. I just did the math from 0 to 255. I went in chunks of 10% and figured out what the hexadecimals were. And then I just concatenated, which means putting them together with the original guy. And that gives you the colors. Yeah. So then let me finish. I know I said I would copy. So if you want to like populate down, for example, like I said, you didn't have to type in everything, only the round. So let's say I typed in this value. All you have to do is click this bottom box and then go down. Yeah, now it's going to be yellow because I made this yellow, so I'm undoing. But it would, if these were blank, it would just populate them correctly with C22, C23. You'd have to know that that's referring to column C, row 22, so it's using that value. And I explain what some of these other things are later. And again, you can always ask me questions, figure out who I am, or maybe I'll leave us something somewhere. And finally, I want to show you, I did all that. I chose to finish my stuff and put it in Google Docs. So all you had to do is then copy whatever the outcome is. That's my actual one. I don't want that. I want the tutorial doc. You paste it. You want to paste it unlinked, so it's not, if you change it somewhere, it doesn't change here. And it's nice here. Then you can do some formatting that you want. It is a table. Like I want to undo. There's ways, and I don't want to waste your time. You could figure it out or ask Google. You can make this wider. You can make it taller because it's a table. If I click here, there's table options. You can change the row heights, the column heights, etc. All right, and that is how I did my project.